This is Elaine.
And this is Abby.
And this is our report on Father Junipero Serra. Father Junipero Serra was a Franciscan missionary and founder of the Spanish missions of California. Father Serra was one of the most respected and best-known men in Californian history. He was also called Apostle of California and Father of the Missions, and one of the Fathers of America. His bronze statue was given to the United States Capitol by California in 1931. I caught up with him to ask him a few questions. When and where were you born? Who are your parents?
I was born November 24th, 1713, on the Spanish island of Majorca. My parents were Antonio and Margareta Serra. We were a humble family, and we lived on a farm.
How did you become a priest?
In 1730, I entered the Franciscan order and became a Roman Catholic Spanish priest. I taught for them as well. At the age of 36, we went to Mexico City to volunteer for the missions. I began training for mission work with the Indians. I was sent in 1751 north of Mexico City to work with Pomus Indians and spent 16 years there. I treated the Indians with respect.
Who was your example?
I took the name Junipero in memory of a companion of St. Francis of Assisi. He was a great example for me while I was spreading the word of God.
Where did you go?
King Charles III of Spain decreed that Franciscan priests, accompanied by Spanish soldiers, would depart from Mexico on an expedition to establish Spanish missions and Christianity among the Native Americans along the coast of California. I was 56 years old. We moved north on foot and rode mules.
How old were you, and from what years did you make the missions?
I was 30 years old, and it took from 1769 to 1782.
How many missions did you make?
In 1769, I founded a mission in Baja California. I founded the first 9 of 21 Spanish missions in California, from San Diego to San Francisco, each spaced about 1 day's travel from the next. The road called the El Camino Real, or the Royal Road, would link them all.
What was your first mission?
In 1769, I volunteered to go to Alta California to establish the first missions there. During the march north, I got a mosquito bite on my leg and suffered from painful bleeding ulcers on my legs and feet, but I refused to turn back. I placed my faith in prayer. I arrived at San Diego in late June 1769, and immediately began construction of the first mission.
What did you do for your missions?
I worked with the Indians so they could taste and see the goodness of the gospel. They learned about agriculture and farming. They learned prayers, heard of the gospel, and if they chose to, they could be baptized and live at the mission. Once they chose the mission, they were expected to work. The baptized Indians could no longer live with their family members who were still pagans. They could visit them, but they could not live with them.
What are some facts about yourself?
I rarely ate meat all year and had one board for a bed with one blanket. I also learned Pam language and translated the catechism. I built several churches which are still in use today and established a successful mission system.
What did you want to do?
I wanted a system of laws to protect the Native Americans from Spanish government.
What was your first mission?
San Diego was my first mission.
When were you baptized?
It was November 24th, 1713, the same day I was born.
He traveled over 1,000 miles in his life. He died on August 28, 1784, in California, and is buried there under a sanctuary floor of a mission he created. He was beatified in 1988 by Pope John Paul II. He was canonized by Pope Francis in 2015. His feast day is July 1st. He is the patron saint of vocations.